Hey everybody, Dr. LeGrand here at Nature's Health Clinic. Today we're going to be talking about basically my lessons that I have learned when it comes to alternate day fasting. But wait, before we get started, I want to let you know I just actually put together a downloadable guide for basically my fasting protocol when it comes to if you are new to fasting or if you're an expert to fasting. You can download that in the description below. It's a 30-day guide to be able to implement my fasting techniques that I always give to my patients to reach optimal levels of health. And so you can download in the description below. So if you are just new here and haven't followed my journey, back in January of this year, I started doing alternate day fasting very consistently. In fact, I was doing 36-12 where I'd fast for 36 hours and then I would eat in a 12-hour window span or about an 8-hour window span. And I did this consistently where I actually did every other day I was fasting. I did this for about 2 to 3 months, and then I transitioned to a lifestyle where I did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I was doing alternate day fasting, and then Saturday and Sunday I wasn't, because it was a little bit harder to keep up with that. And that was one big thing that I found that was a challenge, to still stay consistent with also fasting on Saturday and Sunday because of get-togethers, going and gathering as a family or go to outings with friends and stuff like that. So it made it really difficult. So I transitioned to pretty much doing alternate day fasting where I'd fast 36 hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I did this very consistently up until about June. And because as COVID-19 hit, it became a big challenge because of not being able to exercise as much. I also I started a new business. That became a challenge too, where I was starting to do online courses and stuff like that because more of my patients were needing me outside of my practice because people didn't want to come in per se, so I needed to provide some things for them. So I decided to start creating courses, started providing more information for my patients and for people outside of just Washington State. And so that became really challenge. And so I realized that it was really hard to keep up with doing alternate day fasting on a consistent basis. Even during the summer months, I also, went on several different vacations, different road trips. If you guys already know, that was kind of a challenge for me as well. So lessons that I learned, it was really great. I was able to lose a lot of weight with doing alternate day fasting, but it's really hard to keep up consistent. I think you can do it long term, but in spurts, and that's what I think I'm going to be doing here on out, is be able to do alternate day fasting in spurts, like, maybe quarterly, do it for like 3 months. And because it's something I think you should actually add to lose that additional 10 pounds that you're trying to lose. And that's what I'm going to be transitioning to. In fact, right now I'm doing 1 meal a day, and then I'm doing 36-hour fast here and there, maybe once a week, versus, doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like I have been, and trying to get back to exercise. In fact, here in Washington, my gym, I just heard it actually got back open. Hooray! I can actually go back to the gym, so I'm planning on finally going back to the gym and getting back on my schedule with that because I was really consistent with that. If you guys were following my journey, you saw that I was really consistent. I was exercising 5, even sometimes 6 days out of the week, and that was really making it helpful for me to lose the weight, to be able to go through this process, and using alternate day fasting as a supplemental tool to help with losing weight, but also for all the health benefits, because I was finding lots of health benefits come with that because I was having more of a clear mind, be able to focus more, be able more on task. I wasn't as fatigued, and that was great. And also on top of that, with also eating healthy, I was very consistent with that. Then summer hit, too many road trips, and it really got me out of the loop. And so this is basically a video for myself to really get back on track. And I want to kind of share lessons that maybe this will help you if you start doing alternate day fasting, or maybe you've failed several times. If you've followed me from the very beginning of this channel, you have seen that I've had my ups and downs as far as when it comes to fasting, because I've tried all the different types of fasting. I've done long-term fasting, I've done alternate day fasting, I've done 1 meal a day fasting, I've done 3-day fasting, 3-day off fasting. I've done all sorts of different techniques, all the different types of intermittent fasting as well. So what I have learned from this is that it's best to do things in spurts and also mix it up. And I've said this before, it's always important to mix up different intermittent fasting techniques because it really tricks the body. It kind of helps so that your metabolism doesn't get too comfortable, and also trying to implement exercise and good eating habits always. In fact, I would say before you even start a big fasting regimen, like doing alternate day fasting, I would first, kind of like what I did, before I even started doing alternate day fasting at the beginning of January, I wanted to be consistent with my exercise. And I know that was huge. It's always huge for me. Anytime I want to really try to lose weight, I just need to be consistent with my exercise. At least doing 3 days out of the week, or, ideally 5 days out of the week exercising. And that really helps me start losing the weight. And once I do that, it actually motivates me to want to eat better, and then using fasting as a supplemental tool to kind of quicken the process. But I'll usually run into this issue, and I know lots of people do, where we'll use fasting as an excuse to use as losing weight, but still eat the things that we want and feel like we don't necessarily always have to exercise. Because, hey, I already fasted today, I don't necessarily need to exercise this week because I'm doing my fasting thing. But I really find that fasting doesn't help me continue always wanting to strive or motivate myself to eat well or to exercise consistently. It's always been exercise. Exercise helps me to want to eat better. It also motivates me to want to live a healthier lifestyle. And then I'm also using fasting to implement that can help quicken that process. And these are lessons that I've learned. So if you are struggling with this, like I have in the past, is realize that we always need to go back to the basics. Especially if you're trying to use fasting for losing weight. You got to go back to the basics as far as when it comes to losing weight, which is eating good and exercise. Those will always be tried and true things and techniques that you need to be implementing on a daily basis. And it's difficult. I have run in this issue several times because something comes in the way. Just like this year with COVID-19, all the gyms got closed. That made it really difficult for me to even be motivated to go work out, because just going running outside wasn't enough for me. And trying to exercise in my house, I've never been motivated to do that. I always have to go to a gym where I see other people are exercising. It just gets me motivated. So I'm really, really excited that the gym has finally opened back here in Washington, where I can actually go and exercise again and get back on track. And then on top of that, when you're doing something like that, you get more motivated to want to eat healthy. And so hopefully you guys can see this video as maybe a lesson, mistakes that I've made that you can apply when you are implementing any kind of fast technique. So not necessarily just alternate day fasting, but any intermittent fasting technique. You need to realize, okay, what am I using this for? Most cases for people with losing weight, but try to have a big motivating factor behind that as well, such as your health. But on top of that, realize that you should use this as something that's supplemental and not the only way that you're trying to lose weight or get health. You always should go back to first trying to use exercise and nutrition as a big key as far as when it comes to implementing good lifestyles and habits. Something I always, teach with my patients, and I'm basically making this video for myself as well. It's kind of, kick me into gear to get back on track. Because it's been a really rough summer for me, for sure. And if you guys have been following me, you guys know how difficult it has been this summer to be able to really stay consistent. And now that it's fall, things are kind of transitioning back, even though we're dealing with fires now, which doesn't help with running outside. If you guys are familiar with the fires that are going in Oregon, Washington, and California, it's pretty crazy. 2020 just can't get any better, can it? But I hope you guys found some value in this. And I do want to let you guys know that I've finally made a downloadable guide on my fasting regimen. Basically, the things that you should be implementing for the next 30 days if you're planning on doing fasting or any kind of fasting, even if you've done fasting before. It's a free downloadable guide. You can download in the description below. And this is something that you can implement as far as when it comes to fasting techniques. And then in that downloadable guide, it also gives you other additional tips about fasting. So it's really full of knowledge. I've spent a lot of time putting it together for you guys. So you can download that in the description below. And until next time, this is Dr. LeGrand signing out. Thanks. Bye.